Hi everyone, and welcome to Tuesday's Tips with Laurie. I'm so excited to have you here today for several reasons. The giveaway, that's going to be a lot of fun, but I also have Jeanette here with me, and she's going to be helping me. She's a good expert on SVG Files, so I am really excited to have her here helping me today. So to start with, we are going to do our drawing from last week. And I love that they've put this together so fun. So this is what you were gonna win. If you remember right, there was 3 sets of tubes. So there's 2, 4, 6 tubes in total. Plus you get to choose not both, but one. Hold that for me. One of these. So you pick and you'll tell us which one you want. So are we ready for the drawing? This is so much fun. They actually pulled off all of the names and they're in a bucket here. How fun is that, right? It's not computer generated.
Right?
It's
no random number there.
Totally not. Okay, so I'm not looking. You guys ready? You ready? Here's the lucky winner. And it is Wendy Hoffer Brown. I probably said that wrong, I apologize. But Wendy
Longhoffer, yeah.
Brown, you are the winner. You are the lucky winner. So please let us know which one of these versions that you would like. It's the Sweet Feet version Volume 1 or the Sweet Feet Volume Collection 2. Just pick one of those, plus you win the tubes. Yay, congratulations. So the next thing we wanted to cover is, yes, today is the section or part 2 of our 2-part series of SVG cutting, but we promised you that we were going to do another giveaway. So what we're going to actually do is 2 giveaways, one on Facebook and one on Instagram. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, and this is how you're going to win. Let me show you what you're going to win first. So you get to win a set of glitter. There's a red and a white glitter and one of these that's already homemade by Kimberbell. So fun. It's already made for you. How fun.
Check
what a
all
fun
that
gift.
sparkle. So sparkly.
So cute. Yeah, and we had fun making them for you. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. Okay, so this is the rules of how you do this one. First of all, and I'll show you the second set. Don't worry, there's 2 winners, right? So one on Facebook and one on Instagram. All right, so these are the rules. First, you're gonna follow us on, this is how you enter to win. If you follow us on Instagram at Kimberbell Designs, or if it's on Facebook, first you follow us. Second, you're going to like the post and tag as many friends as you would like for unlimited entries. Did you guys hear that? Like the post or the photo as many and tag as many friends as you would like for an unlimited amount of entries. Pretty cool. And the last thing was to make sure that you share this photo, and it's a specific photo at Kimberbell Designs. You'll see a picture of what you're winning.
And it'll go up right after Tuesday Tips.
Great, and it will go up right after Tuesday's Tips, so you'll make sure that's the photo that you're sharing right there. All right, and then the winners will be announced live next week, just like we did today. Wasn't that fun? I love that. I enjoy that. All right, so let's get started today. So to start with, the very first thing I wanted to go over is we are working on the Brothers Scan and Cut. So the fun part about this was it's different, a little bit different than SVG on a silhouette. Just slightly different. But there's still a lot of helpful tips that will apply to almost any cutting machine. And a lot of that has to do with your cutting mats, the tackiness of your cutting mats, which way you would flip your fabric, and how you would prepare your fabric. Those would all be very similar. So I wanted to start out with this sewing version because this is really cool. So if you've got, this is the sewing version from our That's So Chanel Christmas Hot Pads collection. And this is what's really fun is when you open it for the sewing version, these patterns are already in the book for you, but they are in reverse. So there's 2 ways of doing this, and what I'm going to show you is how cool this is. You can scan in on this machine. So what we were going to do is show, I know we've had a few people ask if we could show and demonstrate how to do this. So, let me just show you real quick. I just traced it right off of the book, and that would be reversed, and then you can see that this would be not reversed. So depending on which way you scan it in is going to depend on which way you're going to lay your fabric out. So for example, if I put it in the reversed, which is what is in the pattern book, and I scan it in reversed, I'm going to make sure that I'm cutting it reversed. If I scan it in so that it's not reversed, then I'm going to cut it so it's not reversed. And that way it's going to match up the way it's supposed to. So I'll let you place that on there. And I'm using the low tack. There's most machines will come with a low tack or a high tack or a different adhesive surface that you can use. And for this particular one, we're going to put that low tack on, and then we just hit the load button. It's going to load it in, and I just select scan, and I'm going to scan it in. So I didn't push that button hard enough. I'm going to scan. So I'm going to scan and save this so that I can manipulate it if I need to. And so it's telling me to make sure I've got it ready, and then see this start stop button. It's going to just start scanning. And it scans it in just like that. And once it scans it in, it'll send it back out to me. And it takes just a second for it to recognize the image. And I might add, if you have any patterns that are already drawn out in black and white or with a line, you can just use that. You don't have to hand trace it if you don't want to. I believe that you were showing me.
Yes.
I'll let you show
so
them.
in this book, this overlapped right here, and so we wanted to trace it so we had just this isolated by itself. But a lot of our patterns, you can see on the top of the snowman, these pieces are all separate. So you could just photocopy this directly and stick it right on your mat to scan it.
That's perfect. And you can see that it has a solid line perfectly for you.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So now that we've got it scanned in here, I'm going to unload this so that it's out of my way. And I'm going to select which way I want it to save. I'm going to save it so that you can see that it's got the whole ribbon right there. It even scanned in the word I wrote at the top. So anything that you actually have on this drawing, it will actually do a cut line for if you'd like it to. So I'm going to save this so I can show you how to pull it later. So I'm going to hit save, and it gives you an option to choose whether you want to save it to a USB stick, to a computer, or just to this machine. And I'm going to save it just to this machine here. So now we have it saved, and then we would just go, and then this is the file name. It's M00002. And I'm like, okay, that's great. So I'm going to go back and delete that pattern now. And now, if I were to come back, now that I've got my fabric ready, and since I did it with it not reversed, the pattern was not reversed, I'm going to not reverse my fabric. And I've prepared this fabric with heat and bond. Now, if you don't want to use heat and bond, and you're wanting to use an applique, say you're using Roxanne's glue or 505 spray or some type of temporary adhesive, you can actually do that, and in that case you may want to just leave the pattern in reverse, and you can just put it on that way. So it just depends on what you'd like.
Too, like this is so stiff, like fabric is normally not this stiff. This has been sprayed with Terrial Magic and allowed to dry and ironed. So it's like really stiff. That's not normal for fabric.
This is true. You definitely want to prepare your fabric.
Yes.
Make sure that you spray it with Terrial Magic.
And you can even do it with Terrial Magic on this, and then put the heat and bond light on the back of it too.
And that's what I've done here. You can see it's almost like as stiff as a piece of paper. So that is really good, yeah. And then I'm gonna pull my other mat. This mat is a lot more sticky because of it's more of a standard mat, and I've got the fabric tack on it. So we'll stick this on. And it doesn't take a whole lot of pushing on this one, and it sticks really well. So then what we'll do is I'm going to now retrieve this pattern. First I'm going to load and make sure that you have set your blade, thank you, to the right. And I've already pre-tested this, so I know that 6 works good for this fabric plus that extra piece that's on the back. There is in your manual, there is an actual guide that will tell you what you're using and what depth you'll want to pick on that. Okay, so I'm going to select a pattern because it's something that I've already saved. So I'm going to go to my saved data, and I saved it on this device. So I'm going to pick this device, and you can see it was M00002. So there it is right there. So I've selected it and I hit OK. And at this point, if you had multiple items, you can ungroup that. And I'll show you how to ungroup in a minute. But this is exactly what I want. So I'm going to select OK. And I can just select cut. And now it's ready to cut. Do you want to hit the start button? And the first thing it's going to do, and it's interesting, it will pick up the little things that I wrote on there earlier. It's going to cut, not reversed on there. And the edge of the paper, yep, it'll pick up. You can edit those things out if you would like. But I wanted you to get a feel of what it would actually look like and how it would actually cut. Oh, look at that. And it's almost there. We're almost done. There's the bottom. And those are the loops for the ribbon. And there's that bottom line.
Into your paper.
Okay. All right, and then we can just hit OK and unload the mat. And sometimes I find it the easiest just to peel that, yep, right there. And see how easy that peels right off. And you've got there's your ribbon. So with the loops and everything, look at that. And that way it's ready for those that are sewing. Isn't that cool? You can just
put on your fabric and iron it on.
Iron it on, and it's ready to go. None of that cutting. Isn't that great? I love this. I love that. All right, so I was just going to show you quickly more on the computer side now of things, because when you are doing the embroidery version, they're saved in an SVG file. And if you remember, was it 2 weeks ago, we talked about what SVG stood for. Do you guys remember?
Scalable Vector Graphic.
Very good. She was paying attention. No, she knew. She's the one that told me. So one of the things to note is when you're working with the SVG files, you need to put it through the software. So that was just a scan model. This one we're going to pull up the SVG files in here. I'm just going to pull this up. So I already got my Brother Canvas workspace, and it would be the same if you've got Silhouette. You're going to pull your actual file in, and I've got it on a USB saved right here. So I'm going to go over to my import from my computer. I'm going to select the Santa, and I'm just going to, I think I need to move this. Oh, there it is.
Just click open.
Thank you. And right there is all the pieces that I need. So we've got the beard, the face, the brim, and the hat that I'm going to need for this. So I had a lot of questions of how do we ungroup that. So if I select just one, I just click on it, that's all. You can see the 4 arrows. I'm going to move that one to one side, and then I'm going to click on the next piece, and I can move that up to this side. And this way you could cut it all out in one cutting, and I can put a piece of white fabric here, and a cream or rosy for his face, a red piece of fabric up here. So that's one way of doing it if you want to split them all apart, and then you could do manipulate it that way. There's also, let's say the beard is right here and I want to reverse it. You just go to the flip over here in the edit mode, and you can see it flipped my beard upside down right there. And that way, if you want to do it in reverse for sewing, there again you could do that. Or if you're wanting to put your fabric a different direction than right side up, if you wanted to cut it from the back side, you could totally do that. So that's basically And that would mainly pertain to glitter. So if you're cutting that glitter beard, then you would want to flip that in reverse because you want to cut it from the back side of that glitter. So that's when that would come into play.
Yeah, and you could just flip it for the
And
glitter.
you can flip it horizontally too. It's just easier to see on the beard when I'm flipping it upside down.
Sideways.
Yes. So if we did it with the hat and we were to flip it side to side, then you could see that it's flipped from side to side. The beard looked the same either way.
Right. And the reason you would flip it with the glitter is because you actually cut from the back side of the glitter. So the image needs to be flipped.
Correct. Yes, thank you. All right, so let's say that we want to make many red hats and we don't want to worry about the rest of this. You can either select all or you can just use your right mouse and you can delete and just get rid of the extra pieces that you're not wanting to work with. And then we're just going to work with just this one. And we're going to move him over here. And the same thing, I don't know if you noticed, if you hit right mouse, you can see where it says duplicate. And it's just going to make you another duplicate. And you can move your duplicate down. And then you can do it as many times as you want. And then, this is a fun part right here. Once you've got what you want, you go over here to File, Transfer via Internet. So there's a wireless capability. You can also plug it in, but we're going to transfer it to the cloud. And once we've got it in the cloud, now we can set this, push this aside, and we'll pull out the brother here. We can go back to our home screen, and we're going to get a pattern, and we're going to bring it in from the cloud. So here's a picture of a cloud to the machine. You just retrieve it now from the cloud, and there's our two pictures right there. And if you wanted to bring, say, the other ones in and you wanted to ungroup them, you select this button and it allows you to move them and maneuver on here if you want to separate out your pieces if you'd rather do it that way than on the computer. But the cool thing to note is when it transferred through the internet, it saved it as an FCM file. So it's no longer an SVG file, it saved it to the format that is native to this machine. So there's another tip. So if you're trying to stick a SVG file directly to this, you need to go through the software because of the change of the file. Do we have any questions? That's a lot of information, I know. That's a whole lot of information. Yes?
We do have some people that would like to hear who won the giveaway and
Oh,
how
absolutely.
to enter the new giveaway.
Okay. Did I say?
Did you put her name?
I don't know where I put her name.
It was Wendy. Long something.
We'll have to rewatch it.
Brown. Her last name Brown.
Oh, Brown.
Yes.
Long.
Oh, I couldn't pronounce it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Brown. Wendy Brown.
Yes. So Wendy Brown, you are the winner. If you tuned in late, make sure you claim your prize. And let me go over the giveaway rules. Is that what you'd like to hear again?
Wendy can just message us on Facebook.
Okay, yes, Wendy, just message us on Facebook. I don't know if you got that. You heard that? All right. So the how to enter is to follow us on both Instagram. I would do both. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. That's going to double your chances and up your chances of winning. And you're going to like the posted photo in which we're going to post the specific photo which shows a picture of these fun prizes that you're winning. And then you're going to tag that photo to as many friends as you'd like for an unlimited number of entries. So that's a great way. And then share this photo at Kimberbell Designs. And that shows your entrance, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So winners will be announced live next week during Tuesday's Tips for this. So do you guys have any other questions? I'm hoping I answered some of I know we've had several people call about grouping and ungrouping and how you handle that. And so hopefully this helps. So if you're wondering if you missed part 1, go back a couple weeks because part 1 does show how to do it on the Silhouette software. And so we're trying to cover more than one kind because we have several machines that we use to cut from. Do you want to explain Cricut really quick? How you would, if you wanted to use a Cricut machine to cut with?
Well, for sure you take it through the software again. Cricut is on, they have their software is online, their Cricut Design Space. One thing that is a little bit different with the Cricut files is that when you open our SVG files, they don't come in at the right size. So we specify a size in the file, and then when they open in Cricut, they come in really big. And so we have provided documents that we call SVG file size information, and so that you can take that document and make the shape the exact right size, and then go ahead and cut it out. So a lot of our newer CDs have that document on the disk already, and if you are trying to use your Cricut to cut out something and it doesn't have that document, just email us at info@kimberbelldesigns.com and request it. We have a lot of them done already, and then we try and just do about 1 or 2 a week, and we just fill requests as they come in. So
if you have a Cricut machine, just let us know, and we will be happy to get those numbers to you. All right, any other questions? Well, have fun making and using all your glitter that you win. And if you didn't win any, go get some and have lots of fun cutting it out. It is a lot of fun. And we'll see you next week at Tuesday's Tips with Laurie. Bye-bye.